Happy Friday, Facebook, and my camera over here, and then my comments are over here. So you might be looking back and forth, but if you're hopping on, say hello. I'm really excited because I love this topic of saving time, because anytime we are in like a season of hustle or like really busy in our businesses, hey Matt, we tend to not have time for anything. Like we don't have time to breathe. Hey Amy, we don't have time to sleep. We don't have time to eat right, work out. Like we have no time. And for me, whenever I'm in that time, all I'm like is, oh, if I just had like, I'm like looking at other people on Instagram or Facebook. I'm like, if I had as much time as them, I would be doing so much. Or when I was building my business and working as a COO at a digital marketing company, I would be like, oh, well, if I wasn't working here, then I would have so much more time to do all this other stuff. It's like time envy. And a lot of times we get stuck in this loop of looking up productivity hacks and like apps to help us save time and be more efficient. And I love most of those. But at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do to save time with a hack, like a productivity hack. Before you need help, before like your list, you're going to have a certain amount of stuff to do and you can't hack your way through it. So calendar blocking is great, and using a Trello board or Asana or ClickUp to manage your projects is great. Using Dubsado to automate is great. And at the end of the day, there's still a certain number of things that you need to get done to keep your business running, to keep your clients happy. So one thing you can do to add time back to your week, like 5 hours or more, is to hire a VA. And it doesn't take as long as you'd think to do that. So I've been having a lot of conversations, lots of DMs on Instagram, and people are like, oh yeah, I know I need to hire, but hey Stacy, I just don't even have time to think about it. Like I'm in the middle of a launch right now, or like things are so crazy busy. Let's circle back to it in the new year, because they just can't even like find their own head. They can't even see straight. And this is the time that you need to hire the most. And this is a time where adding in those 5 hours or more back to your week is going to make the most impact anyways. If you're sitting here and you're like, I'm in the middle of a launch, it's not going as well as I want. I know it could be like making more sales calls on more sales calls, or able to do more stories or create more content, but you're like stuck doing all this admin, or stuck doing the design, or stuck setting things up in Thinkific or Kajabi, like setting up the course. Like if you're stuck doing all of that instead of showing up for your audience and being on sales calls and creating really good content that people want more of, you're going to stay in that loop. You're going to stay in the loop of not having enough time, because as soon as your launch ends, you're going to have a bunch of client fulfillment stuff to do. When are you going to have time then? You're going to be on coaching calls. You're going to be responding to emails and answering Slack questions, and like completely, like your time isn't going to open. It's just going to shift. So adding 5 hours back to your week doesn't take that long. It takes, with the process I take my clients through, it takes maybe an hour a week for my group program. Like an hour tops. Like on the busy weeks, it was like an hour. And then on my one-on-one program, it's not even that much. You spend maybe 20 minutes a week tops, because I'm doing most of it for you. So like not having enough time is just an excuse that a lot of us use. And it's not even an excuse I think that we're consciously making. It's an excuse that we're like optimistically like, I'll have more time when. I'll have more time when my launch is over. I'll have more time when the holidays are over. I'll have more time when I have more clients and I don't have to be selling as much. Like there's always something like, we'll have more time when, and you're just not going to. It's just going to be shifted from project A to project B. And even training your team, it doesn't have to take that long. Yeah, it might require you to slow down a little bit. Like I said, even after you hire, maybe an hour a week where you're like explaining or handing off a project or reviewing their work. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're spending 1 hour a week for a couple weeks to hire someone and train someone, and you're adding 5 hours a week back to your schedule, like that doesn't even, the payoff is immediate. You get the immediate payoff when you hand off a project. When I hired my first social media manager, her first project I had her do was to schedule 30 days of content in my group. I instantly had that taken off my plate and instantly had the time back in my schedule to be on sales calls. And that was my biggest launch I ever had, because the 2 months that she was working for me during my launch, I was able to be on so many more sales calls. So like, it gave me the time back. And she was my social media manager, so she was also posting for me and helping me create content. So I was staying relevant and staying in people's feeds. So that was part of it. But the bigger part was that I had time back in my schedule, like invaluable time to be on sales calls and be present and being in sales conversations. So if you're sitting here thinking like, oh, I just don't know, I just don't have the time to even think about hiring, I don't even have the time to be like thinking of hiring, like it doesn't take that long. It's a matter of sitting down. If you have time to watch Netflix, if you have time to be watching, if you're watching this live right now and you're 6 minutes into this live and you're like, I just don't have time to hire. Like if you have time to be scrolling on Facebook and watching lives and like participating in social media, you have time to hire someone. It's a low time investment for a high time reward. So no more time excuse. If you have any questions on this, I see we have a few more people having on. If you have any more questions, comment below, let me know, and I can help you determine if now is the right time, or depending on other things in your business, maybe you should wait till after your launch. Maybe you should wait till next year, but it's not because of time. It's more because of the timing in your business. Not because of the amount of time it's going to take you, but it's like the timing of like where everything else is falling. So if you know you need to hire, comment below. We can see if the bootcamp is right for you. If you're like, I'm not fucking around with another group program or mastermind, still comment, because maybe one-on-one would work for you. And that's where I take you through my whole process. So inside the bootcamp, it's an 8-week bootcamp and group program. And we have the 8 weeks of content. And during the first 4 weeks, you're going to be posting your job posting that we give you a template for. And you're going to be holding interviews and finding your unicorn. So after 4 weeks, you've hired someone. And then the next 4 weeks, you're going to be onboarding them and training them and bringing them on your team in a way that's fun and in a way that they want to be on your team and where there's less chance of miscommunication. There always will be some like hiccups, but just like setting everyone up for success. And then in the bootcamp, there's actually 4 extra weeks of support after that. So you get me basically just there to hold your hand through the process as you're like, okay, I sent them this first project, it came back terrible, what do I do? Or, hey, like, do you have a suggestion for a system for this? Like, we need a system for social media posts, or we need a system for organizing or responding to Instagram comments, or like whatever. So 8 weeks and then 4 weeks extra support. So you get 12 weeks of me. And then in my one-on-one program, I walk you through, I do all of it for you up until the interviews. So same thing, within 4 weeks, you'll have someone hired, and then you'll have me there like inside your business in an even like more intimate way, helping train, helping onboard, like holding your hand through the whole thing. So time, it's just like not even, if you tell me that you don't have time to hire, like that's not true. And let's find out what's really going on and like what you really need to get you over that hump, because maybe it's money, or maybe it's like I said, the timing might not be right, but you always have the time. You always have an hour a week. That's like 20 minutes a day. That's nothing. So if you are interested, hey Michelle, if you guys are interested in hearing more about either of those, or if you're like, I just don't know, just tell me if I need to hire now or later. Comment below, we can talk about it. And yeah, hope you have a good Friday. And if you're watching this and it's Friday evening and you're like looking at the weekend ahead and you have work to do Saturday and you have work to do Sunday and then you have like no time off all weekend, this is the sign that you need. Like, stop planning 7-day weeks, stop working. Some of my clients one-on-one and in my group are working like 60, 70, 80-hour weeks. What? Like, if you're working an 80-hour week, you can't afford to not, you have to get rid of some of that. Like, there's no time for this. You have to stop working on the weekends. You have to stop working these 80-hour weeks, and it's just time. So yeah, hope you guys have a good Friday, a happy weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.